Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever is going on in your neck of the woods, whatever time zone you're in. It's Two Dudes, episode 39. Curry, you brought this up last time, made me write it down. You forced me. You said, if you don't write this down, I'm gonna come to Myrtle Beach and we're gonna hang out. So I wrote it down. And Profile funnels, my friend. We kind of were talking about this a little bit and wanted to make this a topic. Man, I see some people doing this. And there's a right way and there's mostly wrong ways to do this. There's a lot of wrong ways to do
Mostly,
this. There's there's
mostly.
there's a lot of wrong ways to do this. So, Curry, your thoughts on when people start taking themselves and making these profile funnels? And let's first explain to people what a real funnel is. And I think sometimes people overthink this process. You have a sales funnel, which capture page, and then a landing page. It's really two pages. And sometimes you can even combo it onto one page. So sales funnel does not need to be a lengthy process where I've seen people put in, they have their capture page, their bridge page, their kind of sales page, and then their heavy sales page. And it ends up being like 4 pages long. It's just so much information when you can land the plane a lot sooner. Kind of
Hey,
like me
but
talking right
can
now.
we
I feel like
hold
I'm just
on?
going on, and Curry's just ready to dive in and
I,
talk
I,
about profiles.
I think you're putting the cart ahead of the horse entirely, sir. And I'm really glad you brought this topic up. And what I love about what I'm thinking is we haven't talked at all about this. We just remembered the topic. So
Yep.
what I'm about to stop you and go. Let's talk about what a funnel, just the plastic funnel is. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
have this wide piece, and then you have a siphon at the bottom where all the liquid or whatever you're pouring goes through. You put a whole bunch in, and then it comes out in a little bit at the bottom.
Yep.
So a funnel serves a purpose to put a large amount of stuff into a tiny little thing. Let me stop with what we're about to talk about requires putting a large number of people into, and a small amount are going to filter through and make it into the system. So if you are building a business online and you start working on building your profitable funnel the way that we're talking about, and you only have 200 friends in your network and you haven't added people on a regular basis, and you keep thinking that you're going to keep posting to just those 200 people, that you're going to get people, you are sadly mistaken. The
Mm.
people who build the best funnels or profile funnels are constantly adding people. Like it's more important to add people than it is almost anything else. And so I want you right up front before we go deeper into this, understand that this is a numbers game. And I wish that somebody had told me this about, 6 months into my journey, that network marketing, sales, everything is a numbers game.
Mhm.
Whether you're messaging people, making social media posts, making videos, running ads is the clearest example to me, because you're paying for a large number of people to see a post, to then maybe go to your link, and then maybe some will buy and some won't. So you are paying for exposure with an ad. But
Mhm.
for those, while we get into building a profile funnel, I just wanted to really help you guys out there understand, if you're not building your numbers in general, this is all worthless. So we can go back to the funnel part.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of a different topic, but kind of on the same page too. Like, and we've talked about this before. Like, if you're not building that profile, if you're, let's, we're talking Facebook here for a second. Like, if you're not actively adding friends and doing the work to go bring people into your world and you're posting to the same people over and over and over again, it is kind of the definition of insanity because you're just expecting to get all of a sudden these results are going to come by doing the same thing when you've heard us talk about this, I don't know how many thousands of times on this channel. Like it's all about growth. You got to expand, you got to grow because, your success ain't found here. And this, by the way, is your comfort zone. You're not going to find it right there. You're going to find it out here, or maybe even out here. Maybe even you got to go outside your room that you're in right now. Like you, you got to do whatever it takes to expand that audience and, get more people. Like Curry just said, it's a numbers game. Get more people looking at your stuff. If it's the same old people, you're going to get the same old results.
And on that, I really like that, Facebook in particular allows you to have 5,000 friends and unlimited followers.
Hmm.
So you can have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, but you can only have 5,000 friends. And so a lot of marketers or network marketers love to get their friends list up to like 5,000 or 4,900 and something, and then maintain that number when for me and for many other people, it is a game of getting followers from your friends. So what you do is you build up to close to 5,000 and then you delete 3,000 people from your friends list who are just hangers on, just watching, because these people ain't people you talk to. It's not people
Hmm.
you maintain relationships with. You literally build up your friends list. You unfriend 5,000 or 3,000 because everybody that you unfriend stays a follower. So you just constantly do this. And this
Hmm.
rinse and repeat system, yeah, I bet I've added, I mean, I got, I think 25 or something. I don't know what my follower count, or it's 19,000. I have added and deleted, I don't know, 15, 20,000 friends
Hmm.
over the last 10 years. And by the way, you don't need to have millions of friends to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You you could have 1,000 friends and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So you just have to understand your friends list is your profit list. You
Hmm.
just want to constantly keep be adding. So those numbers, man, it's a numbers game,
Well,
and it's go ahead.
an easy and people that beyond wealthy have said this phrase, beyond you and I. Your network is your net worth. You know what I mean? So it's hey, all right, see you later. Episode 40.
That's it, right? That's it. So we can
But
end it. It's so real.
yeah, I mean, we just landed the plane right there. But you think of that phrase every time you're not getting sales and you're not getting enough people seeing your offer. Just think of that phrase. Your network is your net worth. So if you're only messaging 1 to 2 people a day, like quadruple that by 200. You know what I mean? Like just start messaging more people, start adding more people as friends, get your link out there more, get your resource out there more, like do more, do more. So um that's the only way to do it. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable and build that network up. And I'll give you one example. I had a very, very, I'll call it successful uh, Facebook page, Facebook profile for my entire Facebook life, where I had, I think it was like 81 or 80 something thousand followers. It was a lot. And then last year, in the middle of the year, in the summer, I lost my account. I got suspended for 180 days, never got it back. I was actually able to chat with a real person. I found a loophole and I was able to chat with a real person. And of course, I got nowhere. But I started a new Facebook profile and I purposely did not add any friends and family. I think the only family I have is literally my wife, and that's it. But I didn't add any friends and family when I started it up. The only people I added as friends in my network as I started building it were network marketers, period. I went into all the pages, the GoPros and everything, and I went to all the pages and started add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend. I started adding network marketers as friends. And I just did it a little different. And now it's been, I don't even know what, 8 months, something like that, and I'm up to 16,000 followers. So, we're doing something right. And
You did it right. That's what you did. You did it right. You didn't
yeah,
do it
and
like, hey, I'm going to add Sarah and my cousin and my to all my church family and all these
but
people who aren't going to want to be with me. Go ahead.
more importantly, that Facebook profile is generating me sales. And that's because I surrounded myself, I built my network with the right people. And like Curry just said, I wasn't going back to Uncle Phil and Auntie Sue and cousin, Michelle and all these other people. Like I wasn't adding my high school friends. I wasn't adding like all the people that I used to be friends with and family. I added network marketers. I surrounded myself with network marketers. And now I generate sales on a daily basis. So when you do it right, it can work. And I'm not at 80,000 plus followers, whatever my number was, it was up there. I'm at 16. But what's even crazier, let's reel that back in for a second. I started out for the first, I don't know, 3 to 4 months where I only had a few hundred followers. And then that became 1,000. And then I had video, one video get up over 1 million views. And that one video easily, easily gained me 10,000 followers from one video. So you got to keep going until it happens. And Curry and I were just talking about this before we press record. I've seen so many people on my teams over the years come and go that get like, if this is like making it, they get like right here and then life pulls them back in. And
Three
yeah.
feet from gold, man. 3 feet
Yeah,
from gold.
it's just like that. Yeah, the little meme image there, whatever it is.
No,
But
it's a
man,
book. It's based on a real story.
yeah, true. What was it? Acres of Diamonds? Is that what it is?
No, 3 feet from gold is the
Oh,
name of the
okay.
book,
Because
and
they're,
it's about a miner who was literally mining for like 18 years in the Alaskan Klondike, during the gold rush, and literally ended up selling his claim and sold it to a company that came in, and they literally showed that he was 3 feet from the largest gold find in history. Like he was 3 solid feet in the wrong direction, and they struck all this gold, and he missed out on everything because he sold and he was 3 feet from it. So, anyways, that's what most of marketers do in general.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It just reminds me of a similar book, Acres of Diamonds. That's the one I was thinking of. But Curry,
It's probably the same book.
yeah, I know, could be. Uh, you brought this up last week, and when I think about profile funnels, I think about this two different ways. One is having a funnel coming off of your profile. And then the other one is when you try to brand yourself into a funnel, like you put like a profile of you into your funnel. Um, and there's right and wrong ways to do both. Curry, what are your thoughts on when you think of the term profile funnel? What are your thoughts on that?
So, number one, it's like you want to make sure that everything is set up to make you seem give the appearance of somebody who's going in a positive direction.
Mhm.
Somebody's going, and this, I teach an entire training on this. I've sat down with lots and lots of marketers about this, and it's like, you know, everything you post, everything that you post should be curiosity driven that leads people to go, who is this guy and what is he about? Who is
Mhm.
this girl? What is she about? Whatever it is, like everything you post shouldn't give away everything, but lead people to get tracked and lead people to capture leads, lead people to a place where they can find the thing. So I'm a massive proponent that you should always put a picture of your face on your profile and have a nice header on your image, whether it's LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever your profile is. Have a nice, positive, a message or a picture, and then you in your bio, there should always be a link. They give you a free place to put a link, and that link is where you want to drive everyone to. And
Mhm.
it's like, so for me, it's just about getting people. to that bio link for them to find a way to be in the system.
Yeah, there's different avenues to go when people get to your profile. Um, I mean, we could do an entire episode just talking about what to have and not what not to have on your profile, which I think we've probably done if we go back and looked at the episodes. But please stay away from company branding in your profile. Let that happen once people start to go down the explore avenue of clicking a link and getting to a capture page and putting in their information. Um, but for me, when I think profile funnel, I think, when people start to want to create their own funnels, and this is where, especially in the beginning, and I think a lot of times when we do these podcasts, Curry, we are talking to the novice, amateur network marketer, the people that haven't quite made it yet, because the people that are making six figures a month, they're like, who are these guys? Who are they? But so for most people, like you're going to use really a funnel that's already done for you. So you're going to stay away from branding yourself into the funnel or creating bridge pages. And I've seen companies that have offered to like, hey, you can create your own bridge page. You can add your own video to, this sales funnel, and then it can start to get really, you know, when you're a newbie, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the funnel works and it creates leads and it creates sales, use what's out there.
Hey,
But
hold on one second, just for just a piece of that pause, just hit pause. I think a lot of companies in general, if they have given you a company branded lead capture page, for instance, and you set that page as that primary page, or you run an ad to it, you're just going to get a lot of junk leads. And I've actually been witness to this where people will put their company provided lead capture on something and
mm,
or throw it out there and they pay for solo ads or whatever. And they
mm,
guarantee you so many, leads or clicks. And it's
yeah,
like the company gets hit with all this junk garbage traffic that it actually hurts the value of those pages.
yep,
So they want you to, do a bridge page that, it tells your story, leads it into the lead capture page, but that's the only reason that they do it that way. So keep going. Sorry.
yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because there's a lot of different when you talk about people, and this could be like based off your post or based off of the traffic that, and there's 100 different ways to drive traffic. There's thousands of different ways to drive traffic, but the numbers game and getting people into the funnel. And I want to go back to like picturing the funnel here for a second. If you are organically doing this through TikTok, through social media, through, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, and you're doing curiosity-based posts, you're expanding your network, you're doing the things that we're talking about here, you're, adding people, adding friends, gaining followers, and doing those things, the top of your funnel is going to be, let's just say it's going to be about yay big, and then it's going to funnel all the way down to a little doodad. Out comes sales, out comes people that join you in your business, right? When you start stepping outside of the social media aspect, the curiosity driven posts, and doing the things that we're talking about right now, and you start doing things like solo ads and paid ads and whatever, the top of that funnel gets wider. It's kind of like if you're a fisherman and you're casting a net out there, you're just casting a net across half the ocean, hoping to scoop up some really big fish. Can it happen? Possibly. Is it most likely going to happen? No. Because what a lot of people don't realize is, and I see people make this mistake all the time. As soon as they get started, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go do some solo ads. I'm going to go do some paid ads," and they're kind of like using that as like a Hail Mary, that they're just hoping they're going to land some sales by driving 100 clicks of traffic, which is probably going to be like a handful of people to your offer, and it's not going to happen. Solo ads, aka email marketing, can work, but it will require a boat ton of follow-up, email follow-up on your end. Trust me from experience, someone who's driven hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of clicks through email. The top of that funnel gets so big. And think about this, the quality of people going into that funnel lowers. Organic traffic, you're talking high quality traffic, high quality eyeballs. When you open the top of that funnel up and you start throwing everybody in there, a lot of the people that are in these traffic packages that you're going to buy, they're on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other lists and they've seen thousands of offers. And then you're just a little cog in that wheel. And boom, there's another click to your site that isn't really going to gain you anything. And the quality that you're going to get from that is not going to be that good. So don't get lured in and fooled by solo ad traffic unless you're really going to do the work, you're really going to do the research, and you're going to be following up using some type of autoresponder system. But that's a whole different can of worms. But I just wanted to put that in there because, yeah, we're talking about organic marketing, we're talking about people coming off of your profile, but I do see a lot of people fall into this category and go down this lane, and they make a lot of mistakes and they get very disappointed very quickly.
I had never even captured a lead until OSP. I
Yeah,
didn't just no build. I had no knowledge of building a list. I had no ability at that point to build something that had a form in it that had, for me to capture anything. And so
that was the
when
first for
when
all
we
of us.
it
A
was
lot of
so
us.
had you never captured a lead either until then?
No.
So we like this whole idea of capturing leads and then it's funny. I made this post, I think this weekend. It was I had to then learn about Aweber, using
Yeah.
another tool to
Yep.
send out the emails. Because once you have the leads, what are you supposed to do with them?
Yep.
You got over and over and over. And then, dude, it was like now things are a lot simpler. There's already systems built just like this. And I saw a guy make a long form website about lead generation and get having leads, and I'm just like, this is stupid. Just it's so weird that it's like everything has come full circle, but it's like if you don't have, I'm going to say this and it's going to come across probably wrong, but you have to really grasp the big picture. Like you have to see as a if you're going to be a business builder, business owner, an IBO, an independent business person, and you don't have the big picture of what it is that you're presenting, the people you're going to present it to, and understanding that you've got to follow up with all these people that they're not going to buy on the first time. A lot
Mhm.
of people, I think the numbers between 7 and 14 hits their eyes on a prize before they get it. What? How are you getting this whole thing that you're building, piling on new people every day, and then the people who come through the funnel? What are you doing to touch those bases
Mhm.
until they get a sale? And I love Grant Cardone has said my favorite line in all of list building. He says, hit your list. If you're not emailing them one, two, three times a day, touching those people, and his keyword he is get them out of your list.
Yeah.
Why do you want them in your email list? If you're not driving them crazy to either work with you or buy from you, or just get out.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to have a serious conversation this weekend with a guy. He literally is too busy. And I don't mean like he's too busy, but he wants to have an additional side network marketing income. He's got incredible income with his company. He owns another company. He's doing some really good stuff. And I asked him the tough question. I said, so how many people did you show yesterday? And he said, none. And I said, you don't want it. I
Yeah.
said, you don't need it. You got a good income and you want to take a
You're
break and
comfortable.
you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So dude, he quit right then. I quit. And I said, congratulations. You won't be frustrated. You won't be upset. And this
Yeah.
is, I wish people who, if you don't need it, be a customer and be okay with being a customer. But don't come to me and ask me, Curry, why aren't I winning? And then I ask you, how many people did you show yesterday?
Yeah.
And if your answer is none, what do you want me to tell you? You want me
Yeah.
to just tickle your, no, no.
Well,
So
you could even flip around and ask the question like, um, why are you even asking me what am I doing when you're not doing anything?
you
Like,
try to be,
how come I'm not getting results? I'm not doing anything. Why aren't I getting results? Hmm.
gotta get that shovel in the ditch, buddy. You gotta get
Oh
the
man.
shovel in the ditch.
So
Back to
going back
funnels.
to
Sorry, I
funnels,
went off on a
right?
tangent. Yeah.
We're talking about opening the funnel wide open, and there's so much. I love this topic because there's so many different ways to look at this. You could do the paid ads thing, but let's go back to social media, right? And we're talking organic, using your Facebook profile, building that, whether it be LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, but you're using your organic social media growth to funnel people into your offer, right? They go to your profile, they click on a link. And I think a lot of people first see or think, feel, whatever it is, that when they click on the link, that is the opening of the funnel. But I think in reality, and Curry, back me up on this or disagree with me, but in reality, they're already in the funnel. They're already inside if they click the link because your profile is actually the top of the funnel. When they go to click on your profile, they're first discovering, learning who you are, what you do. Do they want to go further in, or do they just see what you're doing, see your profile, and they just back right out, right? Because if you created a post that intrigued them enough, right? Curiosity driven, you intrigue them enough to go to your profile and then your cover photo is just whacked out crazy. You're rocking the gray silhouette for your profile picture. Your description bio info about you, there's really nothing there. And they're like, yeah, I don't know who this person is. And they just jump off. They didn't even go into your funnel. They're not even going to go down in there. But if your cover photo is set up like a marketer, like someone who's professional, like someone who's in the space of generating income from home, if your profile picture looks good, professional, it's a picture of you, maybe your family, but it's a picture of you. It's good, it's clean, it's not, a unicorn or a kitten or a dog. And it's someone who looks like they know what they're doing. Boom, now you got them in the top of your funnel. And then they're like, okay, now I want to go further in and I want more information. Let me click that link. And they just go further down into the funnel. But I would almost view the profile itself as you're already in the top of the funnel. Does that make any sense?
It does. And the whole time you're talking, I kept thinking about that little game when you walk into like a mall and they'd have this big square in the middle of the mall and it has a place you drop a quarter and you put that quarter and it starts spinning down that spiral, right?
Yeah.
And then
It's
it
like this
finally,
big
but
giant red
yeah,
thing and you
yeah.
just watch it go
And
around.
And I'd love to take my parents' quarters and just throw them right now. You know what I mean? It's like, well, let's watch it spin for no reason whatsoever. Just watch it. But imagine that that's every single person you add to your profile or add to your friends list or add to whatever. They're now you just drop them into this spinning ring. The problem is your spinning ring doesn't isn't smooth. Your spinning ring now has giant holes, and
Yep.
these giant
A lot of
holes
exit holes.
they kick people out. And so as they're going around, they look at your profile picture. Well, they got a picture of a dog as their profile picture. Fall out. I don't want to work with that person. And then they look over and they see your banner image, and your banner image is, just a picture of, my family or my something I'm interested in, but it's not has nothing to do with where you're going or no vision casting or no plans. It is
Mhm.
okay. Well, then some of those people might like it. Some of the people won't. And so there's another hole, and that hole lets people go out. And it's like you're plugging holes throughout your profile. And when you get to your about section and you post that you worked with 75 companies and they can see that you've bounced from so many different things. And it's like you only want to keep minimal information to stop the distractions. So it's like there's pieces of this that circle and that quarter is just going round and round. Finally, it gets down to that hole where your bio link is or where
Hmm.
your okay, now you've got them. They click the link, they have dropped into the next cycle, whatever the
Yeah.
next piece of the puzzle is. But it's like you've got to that as soon as they land on your profile. One of my biggest mentor in life, Dale Calvert, tells me has told me many times that it's like, who is this guy and why am I listening to him? That is the number one thing that I think about when I'm
Hmm.
creating content is, am I giving them a reason to listen to me? If
Yeah.
they look at who it is that I am, if they Google Curry Russell, you're going to find an endless amount of content because over the last 11 years, I've generated a massive amount of footprint.
Yeah.
And so you just have to, and God, I wish, this is my wish, like, I wish it was faster, not easier. I wish it was faster
Yeah.
because people get so distracted, get so caught up, so disappointed, and they have no management of their disappointments. You better be ready to manage all your disappointments because you're
Mm.
going to live it. And that could be a whole topic in and of itself is disappointment management. It is endless. Um,
Yeah. And I think that's where faster would be great, but faster is just, and it's hard because I've seen people, everyone starts it in one of my favorite lines ever. Favorite line ever. Please write this down. If you're watching this, write this down. Just stop what you're doing. Press pause, go find a piece of paper. Because this line just hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard it. I just loved it and I started using it. Uh, Everyone starts at zero. It's up to you if you want to stay there. I fell in love with that. So I've seen so many people over the years start at zero, and it takes them months and months to really gain some traction. And then I've seen people start, and it just seems like a day or two, and all of a sudden, it's like, and they got sales coming in, and they're like, "Whoa!" And it's like it just skyrockets. And I also see, and I've seen over the years, a lot of comparison, people comparing themselves to, well, look, she's already making sales and she just got started, or they're doing this and they're doing this, or how come, I see, you're making daily sales and, I've been doing this for 3 months and blah, 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 no sales. Insert whatever, hope of despair here. Um, Comparison is one of the fastest, speaking of fast, comparison is one of the fastest ways to defeat yourself, to literally just hammer the nail in your own coffin. Comparison, because you're comparing the chapter that you're reading, whatever book you're reading, you're literally comparing, you're right here on chapter one. You might even not be in the chapter yet. You might be just in the contents, reading about where am I going? What's this? And the people that are getting results, well, they're over here on chapter three. Okay, you haven't gotten there yet. And then there's more experienced people that they're on chapter 16. And then you got people like me and Curry. We're back here on like chapter 47. And you're comparing you, who hasn't even started chapter one, to our chapter 47. It's the fastest and quickest way to get defeated mentally, and it will kill your results. So the only thing that you can compare is, Curry, you said it. What'd you do yesterday? What are you going to do today to be better than yesterday? And that's it. That should literally be your only comparison, period.
it's wild that almost every single frustration, disappointment, expectations. Every single thing is a self-limiting belief. Every every issue that you have in your business, in your build, because you have to accept that if Billy Bob over here has reached
He's a good guy.
the top level, do what? He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, yeah.
He's a good guy. Billy Bob over here, a regular guy, started at 0-2 and is at the top of his company. If he did it, that means the system of product, service, whatever it is that is available, he did it. It's available to you too. So if you say something doesn't work, well, I built my profile and my link doesn't work and blah, blah, blah. If you blame anything for you not getting to the top, it's a self issue. It is not well, my team's not working. Well,
Hmm.
you're not helping your team. Well, I'm not doing this stuff. Well, do the stuff. It's like, I love the Art Williams Just Do It video.
Oh yeah.
Art Williams Just Do It 5 minute clip of this talk he did in Kentucky.
Yep.
Every person comes to him with I'm an about to state, or I tried, or I'm doing the thing but I'm not getting results, and well, what if situations, and he's
Hmm.
just like, just do it. Like, you, whatever the thing is that you need to do, just do it. Like, it isn't going to be a team problem. It's not going to be a marketing problem. It's not going to be a website doesn't work problem. It's a you problem.
Yep.
So it's self-limiting beliefs are the most devastating to an individual who hasn't learned to manage self.
I think we literally weave mindset and even the C word into every single episode. And if you
It's
guys
a
are
C word.
and if you guys are sick of hearing about it, tough. Too bad. You know, because confidence and developing and building and nourishing that confidence and that belief, which can go from a limiting belief to, you know, a strong belief. If you're not working on it daily, always, you're going to find reasons to quit. You're going to give yourself a reason. End of story.
Dude, it's I heard it all through the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. It was spoken very, very clearly that all network marketing was a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. This statement I've heard thousands of times.
Yeah.
It's a personal development program with a compensation plan attached.
Yeah.
Every company is exactly the same. All you have to figure out is you and get paid. It's this path. It's like, we're going to give you a system, something over
Hmm.
here to sell, and then you have to figure out how to develop yourself to do it, and you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Yeah. I I think of that Art Williams speech for years when we moved down here. I was listening to that. I got to go back to that. We were listening to that every single day. First thing in the morning, I would literally get here into my office and I had a playlist on YouTube. And that was the second video um, in that playlist. And there's one part in that speech specifically where he talks about the word almost. You know,
I'm almost there.
yeah, people, you almost do it, you almost get there. Almost is a way of life for almost everybody in America. He just talks about how like people almost try, they almost get there. And it's just like, man, it's like it couldn't just hit the nail on the head over and over and over again. And it's like, and that's it goes back to that line. Like we were talking about making this a topic for today, and it's why people secretly don't want freedom. And I've seen this, and I'm sure Curry, you've seen this too over the years, where it's like I can think of the names off the top of my head of people that literally they almost get there. And I've even seen this, and this is where it's like I want to reach through the phone sometimes. I want to reach through my Mac sometimes, and then I just kind of want to like shake people and be like, "You're so close," you know. Um, I had this one person I was working with years ago, and she made it. She made it. She's making $11,000 a month, $12,000 a month. Like life was good, and she made it, and she was loving it. And then the company crashed. They lost all their data. They lost everything, and she had to start over. So she did it and she started over and she started building and she started growing and she got here and life pulled her back in, you know, family, children, stuff, life, whatever it was. And she almost got there again. And I'm like, you're really gonna stop? You know, it's, and there's nothing I could do. I mean, obviously it wasn't my decision, but it's just, it goes back to this line right here, why most people don't secretly want freedom. You know, in her specific case, she had a taste of it, but then the second time around, it was just easier to not do it. And that's how simple it really is in this business. Like sometimes people get so close, but it's easier to fall back into our creature comforts and just go back to normal life. And
Have
I've
you
seen it.
have you read have you read Bruce Wilkinson's The Dream Giver?
I have not. No.
All right. So Bruce wrote the book, uh, Prayer Jabez. It's this little tiny little book, and then he wrote the follow-up book, which is The Dream Giver.
Mhm.
And The Dream Giver talks about this person living in the land of common, and he receives a feather on his windowsill, and it is the dream from the creation, the dream that's going to take you to a place outside of the land of common. And through this journey, he has to leave his friends behind, and he has to leave every single weekend hanging out with his family looking at the box. And I love the reference to the box where everybody sits around and watches the box and the game on the box and the news on the box. And let me tell you, along this journey, he faces so many things that keep trying to send him back
Hmm.
to Common. And I've listened to, I've got an audio that has been one of the most biggest. Like I put it on my YouTube channel. A network marketer called named Matt Morris did this whole long talk on burning bridges.
Hmm.
And it's like it's so easy to go back to your comfort zone. It's so easy to go back to where everything is fine. Out here, it's hard, and you have to learn new things and learn new techniques and learn new skills and learn along the way. Those two audios, man. No, I'm sorry, the book, The Dream Giver and Burning Your Bridges. Um, just everything that we do and everything that we face has turning points along the way that you either have to keep going forward through the struggle, through the frustrations, through all the stuff that you're dealing with, and return back to a place that, dude, that was the second book I ever read in my journey, The Dream Giver, and I have never stopped preaching about this book. It was the most life altering mindset shift book that I had ever read. Um, and like I said, I'm still talking about it 11 years later, and it's this big. Like it is, it's you can do the audio book and listen to it in an afternoon, but it's the most mindset aware book I had ever. Have never stopped.
I had to go back to, I was trying to look for the original, not necessarily author, but where that original phrase, burning the boats, goes back to.
Oh, it's a war. That's a real thing.
Well,
That's a
yeah,
real
exactly. It's
situation,
specifically in the year 1519.
right?
Hernan Cortez is the
Yeah, he
original
did.
um, Yeah, he went to now he went to Mexico to in the Aztec Empire. That's what it was. But I was trying to get the original, and I know so many people over the years, Napoleon Hill, Dale Calvert, like all these people, they're all kind of mentioned and talked about that story, burning the boats. But I wanted to go back to the origin to remember like where specifically or like who specifically it came from, because like that right there is the ultimate reference point to going back to kind of what we dabbled in with today's topic a little bit of like why people are scared of freedom and people will stop right before they get there. You know, as you said, 3 feet from gold because they just fall back into comfort. They fall back into their normal day-to-day, everyday life. When you burn the boats, you don't have that option. So, you know, Cortez and his troops are literally sitting on the beach and they turn around and all their ships that they just came in on are now on fire. You there's no turning like just picture mentally that image like in your brain you're standing on the beach with all your, you know, war buddies next to you and the only option you have is you either die or you win the war. Like that's it, you know? And it sounds crazy, but it was literally what happened. It was,
I do wish I had that level of something happened in my life that like I wish something in my life happened that forced me to go forward because there
mhm,
was no option to go back.
yeah.
We don't we don't have no, there's nothing like that. Like I've even been in a situation where I was doing really, really well in a network marketing company. I had a great six-figure income as a job, and I decided that it was time to walk away from my job. And then immediately, I don't mean like, months down the road. I mean, in the same month that I left a career, the network marketing company died. The same month. And so I had I had to make a choice. And the choice for me was, well, I could start all over in network marketing, which I did, but at the same time, it takes a long time to build back up that income. I
Yeah.
had to go get another job. And so I found another job. They were even beating me up like, hey, why don't you just go back to your old job? And I was like, I burned a bridge. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I didn't do it in a bad way. I was, they knew that I was on the way out the door. So there was no way that I was going to come back if not, so I had to find another job. But dude, I wish that I had no other option. But none of us are put in that situation these days. Nobody's cut you off entirely.
No, it all comes back to self, you know? And remember, like giving up, throwing in the towel, stopping, quitting, whatever is all that's all on you. That's all the thoughts that you give yourself and the actions you take or don't take. It all comes down to, you know, do you want to burn the boats? Do you want to, you know, put yourself in a position where the only way forward is forward. You're not going to go back. You're not going to fall back into comfortable life. You're not going to fall back into, you know, you've heard this probably 1,000 times. Remember why you started, you know. You pulled out your credit card and you pushed the button and you got started for a reason. You know, remember why that was because of what you wanted to accomplish, what you wanted to create, and just don't fall back. I mean, you can fall down, just get back up, but
Let me ask you, just for fun, this is completely wildly on topic, but very wild. Hey, your parents still around?
mom is
Mom is. How, how long ago did you lose your dad?
8 years maybe, give or take.
Okay, so while you've been an adult, you had both parents.
Correct.
In your life, and I don't mean to ask this, I don't want to get too personal. Did you ever have the feeling like if times got rough, you could go home?
Yeah.
See, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like the moment I left my dad's house, I believed he would have never let me come back if I was in trouble. And
Oh yeah. Okay.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it was my responsibility as a man to figure out any of my problems. And to this day, even when I was going through a divorce and living in a camper, I had my mom was like, "Hey, you can come live in our basement. We got a nice little apartment downstairs, everything." And I was like, there is no possible way I'm going to live off anybody else's effort but my own. Like
Yeah.
there's no like for some reason I think I look at, you know, some people that I've been surrounded with for years and years and years, and it's like they've still got 40-year-olds living in their parents' house. And I'm like,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
is the
And
parent going to burn the bridge and say, "Hey, you have to figure life out. Like you can't use me as a possible way out of the issue. You've got to figure it out."
yeah. I've I've seen a lot of people that have gotten into, I wouldn't even call it trouble, but they've gotten into situations in their life when they've been in their 30s and 40s and they've had to go back and move back home. And I've kind of always said to myself, like, I don't ever want that to be me. I want to be the person that, you know, like you, like figures it out. You figure out a way forward. You figure out how to progress and you figure out how to do the things that you got to do to find the way through and find the way, down that forward pathway to make everything work. And I guess we'll kind of leave with this. There's always a way. There's always a way. You just got to accept it. It's right there. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's in these podcasts. Maybe there's a word, a phrase, a whatever. Maybe there's that little boost of confidence that you need. There's that C word again, but the option's always there. You just got to decide to accept it. And that's it. 39 in the books. We started out talking about funnels, and lo and behold, not surprised at all, we end up talking about mindset. It just
Every
it just
episode,
it
man.
circles around and then it just lands where it always lands. But
Oh,
it's just great information, guys. I hope you take it and you use it. And that's it. If you made it to this point in the video, you're freaking awesome. We love you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out new content, which is pretty consistent. Pretty consistent. So Curry, appreciate you. We'll see you guys on episode. Wow. Here we go. Getting closer to 50, my friend. And
yep.
we'll see you there.